As Kim was suggesting, really doing your homework and knowing whether you're the kind of stage and in the kind of vertical market that an investor operates in, right? Because you don't want to waste your time and burn bridges. And if you go too early to some investors, um, the reality is, even if they might have looked at you later on, if you're too early and you go and are not educated and savvy in your approach to them, you may burn that bridge for eternity, just by not kind of doing your homework. Ask to talk to well, you don't ask them, but talk to portfolio companies who are part of their investment portfolio, because they will have perspective. It is a two-way street, as Kim was suggesting. It's not just we're going to take money from anyone who we can get it from. You want fit. You want fit between your needs, the advice that they will provide, the support. It's not a one-time transaction, so you want investors that are willing and interested in making subsequent investments, so they don't kind of spend all their capital on you in the first round, particularly if they're the only investor. And then as you need growth funding, you're going out and creating new investor relationships. The other thing that I see in a number of kind of entrepreneurial markets is what entrepreneurs think of as the not invented here syndrome, meaning entrepreneurs are early on, they don't really have product market fit yet, and they go out and they kind of knock on local doors, to kind of the most likely suspects, right? The 3 to 5 angel investing groups or active angel investors, and they get turned down. Well, through that whole journey, they've gotten beaten up a bit. They've gotten educated. They're also getting closer to product market fit. And then they go to kind of an adjacent city. For Indianapolis, it might be Cincinnati or Louisville or Chicago or something. And they actually get some interest. And the story they tell is, nobody around here would give us any money because investors around here aren't willing to, invest locally, and they think they have to go elsewhere. But the reality is, if you go too early and you kind of burn your most likely local prospects before you've done some of those things to establish product market fit and show that you can actually scale, any savvy investor is going to say no. So I often, Kim and I have this conversation with a lot of entrepreneurs. Don't burn your best customer prospect as your first conversation, right? Learn what the hot points are, the talking points, what language they respond to. You can actually research that and learn that through interactions with customers that might be on the margin, or you might feel are not the best fit, but at least you're learning from that discussion. And who knows, they may surprise you. But if you are then armed with the experience of that conversation, when you do start going to your top 3 or 4 prospects, you'll be much better served by having been through that.
He had to remind me of that about 6 months ago, because I had a list I needed to climb through, and I'm like, oh, I'll just focus on my best ones first. And he's like, stop, go further down the list, not to the bottom, maybe halfway down.
At least the first 5 conversations. Just go somewhere else.